Welcome, everybody. This is the Geek and I.
Nice.
It's pretty good, right?
Nice.
It's my best impression is the Star Trek whistle. How is everybody out there? Welcome to the Geek and I. It's Federation Friday, TGIFF. You can see up in the corner there.
That's pretty cool. Who made that? Oh, nice.
Took about 4 hours, right? Is that what you said?
Yes. As great as AI is, when you tell it to make a sign with a phrase or a word, it usually will misspell it or give you an interpretation or put numbers in sometimes, which is a lot of fun. We caught one earlier today.
Yeah. The video that I made, I didn't even notice it.
I loved it. I watched it 3 times. I loved it. And then on the third viewing, I'm like, oh, how many eyes in Federation? An extra
well, I didn't have my glasses on, so I was seeing doubles and triples.
Yeah. You should see my New York Moots neon sign. That came out really great.
Well, it's probably better than the team this year. So
yeah,
it seems like if you're watching the spring training, the uniforms have been made by AI, and they look horrible. They are worse than what was that? Like that very first baseball game on television. Those uniforms were better than the baseball.
These uniforms, and I'm waiting for a couple of hard slides, will come apart like will burst into seams when there's ever any kind of aggressive movement in them. They're so cheap looking.
And they're see-through.
Yes, they're see-through. So that's a little something to get the ladies into the stands.
That's it.
Yeah, baby.
Yep, you can.
This is the first time you can go to the plate with 2 bats.
Especially if it rains.
Oh yeah, if you're wearing a white uniform, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's coming up to bat and he's already has 2 balls.
Yeah, they shrunk the lettering on the back. I mean, it's a joke. Although there's now plenty of room for advertisements, but
you know what? I told my son, I said, that's what's coming next. They're getting us ready with the smaller numbers and the smaller letters on the back, and within 2 years it'll say Goodyear on the back, or on a pad, or on shoulder or whatever.
I'm waiting for the QR codes instead of the numbers on the back, so we could up at the screen get their stats.
That would be a good idea.
Actually, I'm going to shut up before somebody steals that one.
Or get it patented.
Or why not just...
Or copyrighted.
Forget it. I was about to give SNY a really good idea. Never mind.
All right. So we are here for Federation Friday, and we're talking baseball. Because there was that one episode of Star Trek where they played baseball, which was one of the better Deep Space Nines out there.
Mm-hmm.
At least one of the funnest. Yep.
Yes, I enjoyed that one. So before we get into the episode, I was just on Twitter, and I'm following GalaxyCon Oklahoma. I think they come up as GalaxyCon Online, and it's for the Oklahoma City GalaxyCon that's coming up in late May. And I found out that Todd Stashwick is going to be there. And I've been trying, every time he posts something, I'll throw a reply in there trying to get his attention. Completely ignores me. But maybe now that I'm promoting a show and it's going to be right in town, I can go stalk him. Because as of right now, to me, it's Kirk and then Todd Stashwick's captain. I got James T. Kirk, and he's right there, second place. Even though he's dead. Well, now they're both dead, right? So
Yes. I have him tied for he's definitely in the top 3. I really have him neck and neck with Cisco.
well,
I'm a huge Cisco fan.
do you think of Cisco as a captain or a commander?
No, Captain. He's a leader. Now, whether he's leading a ship or a rotating starbase, I still think he's a leader. And I think he proved it in later seasons when Defiant came on and they could occasionally get off the station. Hell, the man practically ran the entire Dominion War for the last 4 years of the show.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can't wait, in 6 or 7 years when we get down to Deep Space 9, if we're still here.
I'd probably be too old to do this show.
Well, at least you'll have lost your memory and you can watch it like it's the first time.
It will be the first time. Yeah. It's new to you.
But then I wouldn't remember it when I came to do the show because it would have just.
But yeah, I'm hoping. I think I might try and get an autograph package.
I definitely would. I had the opportunity when there was a convention out here on Long Island last year. It was great. I've never experienced a fanboy moment like I did right then and there. I got so excited to see him. Told him that at that time. There it is. Told him, I said, I don't want to say this too loud. I said, but you have shortly become my favorite captain. And he leaned into me and he goes, why don't you want to say it out loud? So then I said, okay, right here, best captain ever. Really nice guy. We chatted for a few minutes, told him how much I enjoyed the show, loved the character, loved what he did with it. Really the first, in my opinion, out of the box, fully formed, human, flawed character Star Trek has ever done. You know, this guy was rough around the edges, a bit of a, if I could use the word, a bit of a dick. But he had his but as the season went on, he wasn't being a dick to be a dick. He had his reasons.
Right.
And in hindsight, they were all good reasons. And I think that little speech at the end when the real Tuvok showed up, spoiler alert, and played that transmission for 7 of 9, it was just like putting the bow on the package. It was like perfect. This is exactly what Starfleet needs. A realist. Somebody who says, damn me though, she's what we need right now. She's the best. And I only regret that we didn't get to see that relationship evolve a little bit more.
Yeah. It's like you say, he was fully established out of the box. Like that first time you see him at the dinner table, he is a character. Whereas, you typically watch Star Trek and they take 3 seasons to find themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, is it the writing that did that for him, or is he just that accomplished? That's the way he took the character, because I thought he was great. I did not like him in the beginning, and if you watch any of our review episodes, by the end,
we loved him.
Yeah, and I shed a tear. I never shed a tear over a captain before. Somebody that, you've met only, 8 episodes earlier?
I was sitting on the couch going, don't do this. Please don't do this. Don't do this. And they did it. But yeah, I mean, how many, even outside of Star Trek, how many people can captivate you with a single word? No. When he looks up and he just tells him no, I was like, whoa. and the whole completely unimpressed with Riker and Picard. He insults Picard's wine, and you're like, this guy is the biggest jackass. And then at the end, you're like, I love this jackass. I can't live without this jackass.
Yeah.
So just amazing. Couldn't have been kinder. Couldn't have been nicer. In fact, he saw me from across the room because I was I was the only person wearing that uniform. So he leaned over to somebody he was talking with, and I saw him gesture my way, and I'm like, and there was nobody there. So I'm like, hold on to this stuff. I was with my family. I'm like, get good pictures, and they did. He was very happy they did. But yeah, and you could see right behind him the top of Brent's head.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I was very accessible. I waved hi. He waved back to me. So yeah, John, if you were here, you'd love this convention.
Where was this one?
They hold this one. Originally, it was held at the Cradle of Aviation Museum, which is
Okay.
in Uniondale.
Mhm.
It outgrew it. So now it's held at the Hofstra Sports Complex. Great deal.
Westbury.
Uniondale. It's you know when you go to the Coliseum and you can go either this way or this way. If you go to the right, that's where it is.
Okay.
So yeah, but great time was had by all. Really, really well run convention.
And what was the name of it?
Something Con. No,
Oh.
Eternal Con. Sorry.
Hold on a second. What was the name of the convention?
Eternal Con. I had so much fun at the blind convention.
All right. So let's get into tonight's episode. What is tonight's episode?
Miri.
Miri.
What'd you guys think of it quickly? Let's go around the horn. Thoughts, and then we'll get into the breakdown and make fun of the pictures I've chosen.
As always.
As always.
Yeah.
Well, it had kids, so I think we all know my thoughts on episodes with kids in them. Then
I thought it had a couple of great concepts. In a way, I felt like they threw a lot of things against the wall to see what would stick. And I don't think it was completely successful for me. There were a lot of questions kind of glossed over, like an exact duplicate of Earth became the secondary part of the story. As a scientific mind, I would think that would be a bigger part of it. But and they beamed down in the center of Mayberry. That was the
Is that what it was? Because I looked it up online and I couldn't find out what, because when they beam in and you see the town and I'm like, oh, I've seen that before. I know I've never been there, but what? And I looked it up and I could not find it anywhere.
Yeah,
I knew you would know what it is.
That was definitely Mayberry, and we get to meet the first two completely mute red shirts who ever appear. I think there was one line between the two of them through the entire episode.
And they didn't die.
And they didn't die. And at one point, my son, Spock gives him an order, and they just look and walk away. And my son goes, shouldn't they acknowledge that order? And I said, yes, but it'll cost them money if they speak. So you're probably not going to get a lot of talk out of these guys. But I loved the sci-fi kind of portions of it. I thought the performances were pretty good. But to me, it didn't all come together.
Now you mentioned the red shirts that are mute. The thing that I noticed was after we mentioned last week that the red shirts, that was the first death of red shirts. So we decided to do a running countdown or count up. So before we get started, I would like to play this little tribute video. It's very, very short because we've only had a couple of them, but here's our tribute to the red shirts.
Oh man.
Now, would it be acceptable to do polite applause, and then if there's one we really like at the Oscars, go nuts?
So, well, I'm sure that list will continue.
It will continue, and you'll have to have an addition and then a subtraction at some point.
For the ones that come back in later episodes.
There's one episode where Mr. Leslie clearly dies, and then next week he's over at the engineering station. So apparently, death didn't take. So
okay, all right. We'll have the addition and subtraction of the red shirts,
Mr. Leslie.
So
Yeah.
we start off this episode of Miri with the Enterprise flying through space, and suddenly there's a duplicate of Earth. How is that possible? What do they find out? And I remember this. I don't know if you've heard it, but back in the old Z100 days, they took that opening monologue for the Z Morning Zoo, and you have Kirk saying, an exact duplicate of Earth, and there it is, and then he goes, the Z Morning Zoo.
Impossible, but there it is. Boy, that's going to look good in the official record, huh?
Yeah. So they do they find life forms? Are they seeing life on the planet, and only a few life forms, and decide to go down, or is it just we're going to go look at Earth?
I think apparently this was the week that the sensors were down for repair, because nobody mentions anything about life forms.
Yeah, just the signal that was coming through.
Yes, the signal, which I wanted to go back and watch. I didn't have time, but it's a simple SOS.
Yes. For
the planet or for that particular area. So they said they had mid-1960s level technology. If it was planetary, who the hell did they think they were calling? And if not, if the plague was wiping out the planet, who the hell was coming to help? So I thought that was a little odd that they just picked up an SOS.
But you got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. You would think coming across an exact duplicate, of Earth, maybe without the signal, would have been enough to say, hey, that's strange. We should check that out. But we threw in the SOS. So an SOS that was running for hundreds of years, when there doesn't seem to be any other electrical power going anywhere.
So, yeah, and that would make the SOS from 1600, 1700. So, I mean, did they have a revolution?
Well, no, I
No,
think it would have
was
been
there-
from the 1960s because Spock at one point says that he estimated to be about 1960, the architecture, the vehicles, that sort of stuff. So I think they were parallel till the 60s and then diverged up to the 2200s where we were. That's when he says it's running for hundreds of years.
Okay, so it started in. Okay. See, I'm not good at math.
What a beautiful, clear day on the East Coast and central parts of the Plain states there.
Yeah, look at that. It's gorgeous.
Yeah. I could see Long Island from here.
And there's Russia.
I could see it from my house.
So we beamed down, and I thought this was going to be like, because to me that looks like it could be Herman Munster's house, but is that you say that is Mayberry?
Yeah, that's Mayberry.
And where's the bar? What's his name? Barber
I think somewhere
Floyd.
I
Floyd
think
the barber.
Yeah, I think on IMDb it says that you can see Floyd's shop, but slightly redressed. And I think that corner there that says hotel, that may have been the police department, if I remember correctly. Now he said 1960s, but there's a 1930s car.
Right, I couldn't figure out I couldn't figure that out.
Car. So I think they just grabbed any junkers on the lot and threw them out there.
Let's see. What was that? That was what show was it? I forgot already.
The Andy Griffith Show.
Oh, that's right. I'm not very good at memories. They go down and they're checking things out, and it would be like you say, the 1960s. So what do we have here? It's from the police department. Yeah, I guess that's why I couldn't figure out where anything was. This is the closest photo I have of the police station. Share the screen. It's a Lego.
So wait
The
a
Lego
second.
courthouse.
So there's two columns, right? If you go back to that other picture, there's a building with two columns. Right there.
Yep, right behind Yeoman.
Right here. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, that is it.
Now, can I ask you, Spock always holds his tricorder button and screen out. Does that seem like that should work that way?
Well, when you pay that much for a prop, you want it
I guess so.
to have the
Want it
nice looking
shown.
side outside, facing the camera.
Okay. I can buy that.
Hey, that's the logic that I got. So then mute officer goes, he goes walking around because they spread out on the strange planet with the SOS. And he walks by this door, and the door closes as he passes by. And then this thing jumps out. And this is what confused me until the end, when I finally put together what the disease does. But he's still a kid, but is on the inside mentally, but the exterior has grown old rapidly once he reaches puberty. Now, would a 13-year-old act like this?
A special one.
Well, I think, with no parents or anything, yeah, sure.
Well, remember he's going into puberty now, but he could have been living hundreds of years as a 5-year-old mentally. These kids that saw everybody die around them, they probably didn't develop the way that a normal child would develop. You can see that almost when they're in the group. They've kind of got that Lord of the Flies kind of cryptic, talking to each other, slang mentality. The most mature one of them are John and Miri, who John looks like he should have gone through the disease 5 years previous to this episode. That was my only casting issue. But
True.
And just to bring it up, Kim Darby, who I mentioned that I think last week, she was not nominated for an Oscar, but she was nominated for Golden Globe, and she won the BAFTA, which is the British equivalent of the Oscar. Michael J. Pollard, who plays John, actually won a Best Supporting Oscar for Bonnie and Clyde.
And I've been trying to put, where I know him from otherwise, as an older actor.
Scrooged.
He was the homeless guy in Scrooge who gets his wings at the end with Carol Kane. He's been in a lot of stuff. He's been, if you go and look up his IMDb, you'll go, oh yeah. He's got one of those faces that you know, but you don't know where you know it from. Had a very long career.
I looked him up on IMDb, and I was like, I don't remember him in any of this. This doesn't strike, ring any bells or anything that where I would have seen him from.
So what'd she win for?
She won for True Grit. She won the BAFTA award for True Grit. That was her first big movie.
Are you serious? What were they thinking?
Well, she was only a kid, right? I mean, with
True Grit
John Wayne.
A couple of years after this. I'd say True Grit is probably about 3 years after this. So,
I mean, I love True Grit, but I just found her very annoying. I just did not like her in that.
By the way, can I just mention how good this makeup effect was? Considering for the time. I know
the hands look
the best angle, but when they rolled him over, I was really impressed.
Yeah, it's got the big nose and the wrinkles, and the hands look really good.
Like the Mummy.
So basically, his interior and his body is just rapid fire aging, and McCoy says what he aged a century in these last few minutes.
Yeah.
So then they hear another scream, right? And they hide behind this tree. Stay low. Don't let him see us.
Well, luckily
I was
they're
just-
wearing their camouflage.
Yeah. Well, I was just counting. I was just counting Kirk's fingers because for some reason now that with AI, I thought I saw. I thought I saw
an
6.
extra digit in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it does do that, doesn't it?
So they go into this house, and that's where Miri is, right?
Hmm.
Notice that the guard is ready to shoot the ceiling if something should drop down.
And now she's terrified because of the Grups. And I thought, like you mentioned, Lord of the Flies. I was thinking more of the kids from Thunderdome, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Mm.
I thought their language, the way they set up their language, was really good. The way I guess they had to teach each other what the words were, and I thought that, to me, that was one of the hooks for me for this episode, and why I enjoyed this one so much. And then we, like you say, have Spock looking at the
Upside down.
upside
readings.
down. Yeah, it's like,
Maybe just trying to challenge himself.
maybe it's in Vulcan. Do they read upside down?
Well, yeah, the language does go up and down, so maybe.
And then the other red shirt just walking away. He's on patrol. He's headed to the courthouse. So when this started, this disease, I guess all the adults got it first. And did they immediately, do you think they immediately got old when they got sick? Because they were much older than, hitting puberty?
Well, she said the older you are, the faster it affects you. That's why it's a little subtle, but we see McCoy seems to be have more blotches and be more affected than anybody else. And here we go.
Yeah, this kind of made me a little uncomfortable.
Now, I don't really know what the point of this was. Is he being charming because he's trying to use her? Is he being charming because he's James Kirk? The motivation on this is a little lost on me.
Well, I mean, they're trying to get information and she's not being very forthcoming. So, yeah, sure. I mean, have a good looking guy and he's like, "Oh, you're pretty." And, of course she's going to be
So it's just Kirk
enamored.
defaulting to his normal plan A.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Incorrect. Incorrect.
I think maybe it was just a way to kind of get her to open up and make her feel more relaxed or whatever. I didn't see anything wrong with it.
At first, I didn't either, but then as the episode goes on, he just keeps laying into it. Like, all right, at some point, Jim, you got to take a step back here. She's an impressionable young woman. Again, the voice of emotional reason is Spock, who says she's becoming a woman. without adding the words Captain Sir. No.
So, yeah. So we get back to Spock, and I thought this was really cool. He's climbing the fire escape. I guess they heard something from down this alley. So he says, "Cover me," and he goes up the fire escape, and then they hear a noise, and I don't know, did he just want to climb up there to do this Spock ladder maneuver?
That's the Vulcan ladder grip.
Mm-hmm.
And that, you know what, remind me later, because I have a question on that. I think that was this episode that I have a question on the neck pinch. So they're walking back down the hall, the alley, and they start very, like you say, Lord of the Flies-ish, throwing down rocks. And I think this is the first time that I've ever seen a character cover his head from getting hit with rocks. And I was like, wow, that's a pretty neat touch.
Wouldn't that be an instinct, though? I mean,
Right, but you don't.
It wasn't for the security guard.
Yeah, he's the only one. But I mean, like in any TV shows, I don't see, they don't. It just seemed out of place, and an idea like, hey, that's something I would do.
So I thought that was an interesting scene because you wonder, as the years have gone on and these mutations happen, these younger kids have probably had to take out quite a few of their friends and grown-ups who were infected. So it really was a really good trap to catch them in, and it's probably worked before.
Yeah, and it was probably the idea of Bat Boy. We'll get to him later.
Yeah.
If you know what
Yeah, okay.
the reference. So Kirk is still hitting on her, and trying to get information as to who the Grups are, and I don't know, are they looking for the other kids now?
Mm-hmm.
And then we see that he's got the splotch. She gets upset.
Immediately, he should have masked up and been 6 feet away from everybody.
Yes.
Social distancing.
Yeah. And Spock seems immune.
Yeah, they never really. I mean, I guess McCoy is right, where it's just his green. The bugs don't like the green blood.
Now, I was kind of disappointed because I was expecting McCoy to throw out a few more little insults towards Spock like he would normally do, but I don't think we're at that point yet within the series where, him and McCoy, or him and Spock go at it quite a bit. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed he didn't hurtle a few more insults.
Well, I think it's because he actually had something to do. Instead of coming up to visit the bridge and have plenty of time to throw insults, he's like, oh crap, I got to work here. Yeah, so he goes right to work using his little microscope and the communicators that for some reason don't make any sound when you open them in this episode, but And I found this a really interesting part of the episode. The whole search for the cure and discussing what it could be, and just the back and forth between Spock and McCoy when he says, when they talk about puberty, he goes, "You know that. Why are you asking that?" Like you could, it was like two men of science going back and forth. I like that part.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of what I would call the Quincy part of the episode, as McCoy is trying to figure out the disease without Sam.
I love that show.
Yeah, great show. We should do a Quincy rewatch. No, never mind.
Okay, that was quick.
So
So he's using the old timey microscope, and this guy,
Where's Ahura?
yeah, she's gone again.
I think that's Farrell, if I remember correctly.
Was he in an earlier episode?
Yeah.
And he was sitting. Was he sitting next to Sulu?
Lulu, yeah. He was at the navigator station.
Was that the Naked Time?
Actually, I think it was Mud's women. I can go back and check, but I'm pretty sure it was Mud's women.
So he's been demoted to the side station?
Well, he's officially a Starfleet temp. So whenever somebody calls out, they just stick him at a station.
You have to be a jack of all trades.
That's
know
right.
all jobs.
Okay.
There he is with the little sketch. Remember those when we were kids? You draw on them and then peel them up. That's exactly what that was.
I was going to say that's what that looks like. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. That's what it was.
So here they're trying to figure out, what the symptoms are, and what's causing this, and we see that it says Spock is not affected, and McCoy throws out that has no appetite for the green blood, and then Spock comes right back. I gotta give my pointy eared friend some cred, because he threw it right back at him. So they contract the disease, but is it? I guess it's inside them, just waiting to hatch.
I thought of it very much like shingles.
Mm-hmm.
The disease is inside you. It's just sitting there waiting for something to trigger it.
And then it goes on the top of your house? Is that?
Yes. You replace them after a storm. So I guess the hormonal changes is what triggers the activation of the dormant disease in the subject.
Because you're like the resident doctor on this panel here, so
I am. I do have a biology degree. Yes. So again,
I'm the nurse. I have a
nurse,
medical background.
There you go.
Okay.
So that's why I found this part the most interesting.
Because this is like the first time that I can recall them, right, really studying a disease. I mean, I haven't seen them all. But
Well, outside of the Naked Time, when he kept trying to come up with an antidote for it, this is, and this one's a little bit more grounded in science fact. What they're doing and what they're postulating is well within the realm of biological sciences.
so I guess they're trying to figure out how they, like he says, how do they keep the line going if they die out, right after they hit, 13, 14, 15 years old, and all of a sudden it's a quick death in what, days, do they say?
Yeah.
So this couldn't have happened too long ago. Because what is the youngest one? Maybe 4?
Right. So let's say they were a newborn when it happened, and what they say, 100 years
For a
is
month.
like a 1 month. So they age about a month in 100 years. So this could be several hundred years.
Okay, so the disease, the thing that they were doing to extend life actually worked until you hit puberty.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I would assume it wiped out the adults fairly quickly, and then as that first, then they, if you think about it, all the adults probably died off very quickly. Then you had people who were just about to enter puberty who may have died in 50 or 60 years after that because of the timing. So you've got generations dying off, but they are dying off at a incredibly slower rate.
Mhm.
So we may be looking at the last remnants of this society.
And like he says, that little girl, she's going to be all by herself for. Well, they also say that they're running out of food, but she could
Mhm.
technically be alone for hundreds of years.
Yeah, I don't know why they had to throw the food thing in. These people have enough problems as is, and now they've already got plague, and now we're putting famine in there too.
Yes, and then locusts come in somewhere, or
Nice part is they're getting a really nice aid package from the Federation, so that should help.
so this conventional chronological progression 100 by 3.6. What is he punching into this toaster?
That's just gibberish. I mean, I have no idea what a conventional chronological progression is, but yeah, some of the other stuff he mentions that it could fly, but I have no idea what that's supposed to be. Wait, see, that's where she said the line backwards, I think. 100 years and only 1 month? Shouldn't it be? Oh, no, that's right. Okay, I had it backwards.
Now that's when they get the disease, right?
No, they're talking about how they age. So she's confirming that they can live 100 years but only age a month.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was just delivered awkwardly.
Right, because she says "and," not "in." If
Yeah.
it was "in," it would be.
Yeah,
It would be
it would flow better. Yeah.
right. But if it's because she said "and," I guess she needs some kind of end of the sentence that would be like, and only 1 month passes by or something like that. Or yeah, that is a little weird.
Yeah. She's
100 years passes by in only 1 month.
Yeah, she said, "Are you telling me that these people only age a month for every 100 years they're alive?" There you go. Even McCoy's looking at her like, "What?"
It's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Wait, he's thinking, "Could you say that again slowly?"
Say that a little slower, please.
Slow down.
Damn it, Jim, she is the blonde. Not that I understand it either, so I guess we're in the same boat there. So they're very, very old. We get that. And she's, I don't know, she's daydreaming back to, I guess, her childhood when it was all play and no responsibilities. And that's, I guess, they are, what is it now? Millennials? Or what is it? Is it millennials now? That's just have an eternal childhood with no responsibilities.
All I know is that they don't get along with Gen X. So to me, Gen X versus millennials sounds like a Godzilla picture.
Yeah. And then this is another line that kind of, yeah. So I don't know. You want to go someplace with me? Someplace fun? So she says that, Spock is saying that Miri could be 300 years older than Rand.
Which I think is a fair assessment.
Yeah. And then we have the only thing that I've seen that this guy reminds me of is, and I know it's not him, but which one is it? Is it Adam? Adam Baldwin from My Bodyguard?
Because of the jacket. That's why you're thinking that.
Is that what it is? It's just his jacket. Okay.
I'll give you that. That definitely he that's Adam Baldwin's look from that film.
And then there he is. Bad boy. I mean, that's pretty darn close. Who is this kid? What else has he been in?
No, he doesn't show up in another episode. He looks like a kid who shows up in another episode. I don't know. Some of the kids here in these scenes are actually the sons and daughters of some of the actors. Shatner's daughter is in here. I think that's the little girl he carries around. I believe Grace Lee Whitney's two boys are in the background there someplace. And I think Gene's girls are in there, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, so you can't just type Miri into IMDb because something else comes up.
Drop it down to episodes.
Yeah.
That limits it quite a bit.
Zach and Miri.
Yeah,
that's
a different podcast. Okay. Michael J. Pollard was in Tango and Cash, Scrooged, Roxanne.
Okay, so maybe it's Tango and Cash that I'm thinking of.
He was Owen in Tango and Cash.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So he worked consistently from the 60s all the way through to up to 2020. Let's see. He was in Dick Tracy as Bug Bailey. He was in, like I
Is
said,
it the movie Dick Tracy?
Yes.
Okay, that might be another place that I remember him from.
He played Mr. Mxyzptlk in Superboy, the series from the 80s. He was in Scrooge, as I said. He was in Roxanne. Let's see. He was in an episode of Simon and Simon, but who wasn't? Hell, I think I did an episode of Simon and Simon. Yeah, oh my God, he goes all the way back. I'm seeing credits going back to 1958 for him.
And that's McCready, you said? What was his
Michael
his
J.
name?
Pollard. Michael
Okay,
J. Pollard. Yeah.
because Ed McCready, who comes up as Boy Creature, which I can only assume is this guy.
No, I think the boy creature was the one with the bicycle.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
The first-
Okay.
The first one we seen.
Because he was in Dick Tracy also.
I think this guy. Hold on. I think this guy, this kid here.
Is he considered redheaded boy? Is that Is that a red hair?
Yeah, I would say that's fair. What's his name?
Stephen McAveety.
Okay, so if that's the case, the episode was directed by Vincent McAveety,
Okay.
who would also go on to helm the next episode coming up, Dagger of the Mind, and one of my all-time favorites, Balance of Terror, which is coming up later in the season, as well as Patterns of Force and the Omega Glory, and Spectre of the Gun. So he directed quite a few episodes of Star Trek.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's him though. 'Cause it does. I'm watching him. There's like, I can't tell if this is an ad on IMDb or because he's a producer. Well, I don't know.
Wait,
They
look
don't have-
underneath that. Look at Farrell when he was younger, the communications guy. What the hell happened to him? Oh no. Okay, little boy John Megna. There's a picture of him on the IMDb. He was into Kill a
Oh, there.
Mockingbird,
Okay, little boy.
Cannonball Run. Hush Hush Sweet Smokey and the Bandit 2. Yeah, he had a pretty good career too. Let's see.
So there's a part in here where this kid gets. I don't know if you've noticed it, but he gets manhandled.
I laughed so hard at that. That was great.
So they're Miri and Kirk are walking down, and I guess they're looking for these kids. And then this is, what was her name?
Louise.
Louise. Louise goes on the it's a small Kirk ride, and
Yeah.
just rides him around. Just rides him around the whole building.
Yeah, it's the Federation Wrestling Alliance. Yeah, he gave her a helicopter spin. So poor Louise, diseased Louise, takes a tumble. And again,
and then
great
gets
makeup.
gets the blue phaser, and bites the dust. We have another one that, and Kirk was like, wasn't set to kill.
It
wasn't me.
Yeah.
So plausible deniability.
And now he plants a knife on her. No, just kidding.
So we have, so now that's two that we've seen that have kicked it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out that she's a little bit older than Miri. So, I mean, Miri's coming. Her time's coming right around the corner.
The clock is ticking.
Yes, and we've already wasted a minute So, I mean, she could be, I mean, it'd probably take what, another 2 years? Would you say? I mean, you don't know how
You don't know
how
how
long it
fast
would
it
take.
progresses. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it starts in puberty, but for them, right? Let's say puberty lasts 2 to 3 years in a human, really, maybe a little less. So that's 36 months. So 3,600 years from now, she'll be, using that math.
So
Yeah.
Spock finds a booklet that has some information in it about the disease and what they were actually doing, but he doesn't thoroughly trust the last few entries because he says that this guy was starting to go insane. And Kirk's sister shows up, and
Did anybody for a second think that maybe he got that some other way? Jim, that's not the same kind of blister. you you might have two things going on.
so at least this time they have 7 days. So their time of survival window is ever increasing with each episode, that they only have a certain amount of time to live, because I think it was what was it in Where No Man Has Gone Before? Didn't he like only have
36 hours before?
Yeah, something like that, and then we went a little bit longer in The Naked Time. And now we're up to 7 days. So by the end of the season,
like
we're not going
to solve these problems. Well, the good news is we can all still take shore leave. So, yeah.
So why would they call it? Why a new series of diseases? Why would they? If they're doing something to extend life, would you call that a disease?
I have an answer for that. So they may be using viruses as a mode of transmitting what was needed to extend the life, because viruses naturally attach to cells and inject them in order to replicate. So they may have been using a virus as a host to get the process going.
So no mRNA, or is that?
Well, it's the idea is that you can take something that's usually bad for you and turn it into something that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
like
what these
chickenpox.
Like chicken, right? Now, like yeah, kind of like that, but you can take a virus, take the stuff that's inside of it out, replace it with what you want it to be, and then put it in a host body, and it will deliver whatever inside of it. Now, they actually were using this technique experimentally for cancer patients. The idea was to modify the viruses to insert DNA into tumors that would cause the tumors to stop growing.
And I guess it didn't work.
They had some success with it, but not as much as they'd like.
I have a question about the shirts. Go back to that slide. What's with the unzipped shirts?
I didn't even know there was a zipper there.
Yeah, there's zippers there.
What's even more shocking is it looks like there's zippers at the wrists too, because he does something and the shirt is not ripped. It's perfectly like a seam down the middle showing his hands. So that shirt might be loaded with zippers. I don't know.
Easy access.
Yeah, I mean,
I
to me,
just
it's
thought
it's
it's weird
just a
'cause
pullover. You just pop your head
well,
through it.
it looks like McCoy has another shirt under his shirt, but then Kirk, his black is only around the collar. So I was just like, what is going on? And
Yeah,
are
because
they
McCoy's wearing a T-shirt and Kirk isn't.
uh,
Because in the unlikely, or should I say probable event his shirt should get ripped or torn, he wants to be able to show off his pecs. Can't have
yeah.
you can't have a stupid T-shirt getting in the way of that.
So they hear a noise in the next room, and this was a great plan.
This was the stupidest thing ever. Oh
Well,
my
you
god.
don't like quarterback Kirk coming in to the game. He looks like he's about to tackle someone.
That's why I froze it there. It was like it was the start of the run right there. So then we have my bodyguard comes through the ventilation system like John McClane, and that jacket looks familiar too that he's wearing with the
Red stripes.
Yeah, with the red stripes on it. And he comes in, and the plan is to steal all the communicators.
That'll teach him.
Yeah, wouldn't you think that would be something that you like kept attached to the Velcro on your belt?
Yeah.
Normally they do. They use it and then they, you always see them put it back on their belt. But no, every single one of them left it on the table. That's why this is a stupid scene.
Did Rand or the security guards happen to have their communicators with them?
Well, he stole 4 communicators.
And there's 6 people on the planet.
Right. So they still have 2 somewhere.
The guards have their communicators. Yeah, this made absolutely no sense. It almost to me felt like a scene that was written to fill time.
Well, I mean, it has a point that you have to prevent them from talking to the ship. So I don't know how else would you prevent them from talking to the ship?
Ion storm. There we go. Subspace interference. Sunspots. Farrell screwed up because he didn't know how the board worked.
Or the batteries just went dead.
The battery just went dead. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this was just lazy writing.
And they should all be court-martialed for losing their equipment. And now Kirk has got the splotch going all the way up his arm now. And everybody's starting to get mad at everybody. And Rand takes off. What got her upset?
I think because of the attention he's paying to Miri. This, again, I think it's a disservice, and again, it's part of the era which it was written, but she gets jealous, for lack of a better word.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes running off, and then Big Brave Captain has to go in, and she does the whole look at my legs. I always try to get you to look at my legs. And by the way, let me pull my shirt down here. Which she seemed very comfortable doing, considering, Evil Kirk tried to, sexually assault her just a few episodes ago. Yeah, this, to me, it does this character a huge disservice. Almost as much as that haircut, but
Yeah, I like the haircut.
You like the B rap kind of whatever this is called?
I do. Yeah, very Austin Powers.
Mm. Yeah.
So now she's getting jealous because Kirk is paying attention to Rand. And now it's like this love triangle.
By the way, love the scene where McCoy just totally loses his shit. You want to take a crack at it? Boom, and storms off. Like, and I'm just thinking, just another Tuesday for McCoy. You know, like
Mhm.
just flies off the handle. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't need a disease to get angry.
Oh no. Tensions are high. Yeah. They have been for about the last 43 years by my calculations.
So he realizes he made a mistake with his calculations, I guess, or when he didn't focus the microscope, or he didn't write something down that he was supposed to.
Some kind of adjustment he was supposed to make and he didn't. Or he should have.
And then we go back to the kids, and Miri is here planning something. Now, I got the feeling that she was kind of using them the whole time in this scene, setting them up.
She wants them to do the dirty work. Absolutely.
Well, do you think her fascination with Kirk was an act because she doesn't trust the Grups, or
I get the sense that she's really falling for him. I think she's got a crush on him. And this would be the behavior of a young girl experiencing this. So, and if we can get her away, and if we get her away, that yeoman, the way she says that yeoman, like, get them separated. I want them separated because I want him between the lines. I want him for myself.
yeah, isn't that like a problem though? Because like eventually he's going to turn and attack, right? Or is she just so love struck that she doesn't care what happens as long as she has that, that little bit of time?
I think it's probably a little bit of both, but she also sees them working on a cure. So if she can get him alone and they successfully find a cure, then they can live happily ever after. So the motivations are a little bit all over the place and not clear. Is it me or does this guy look like Shaka from Land of the Lost a little bit?
Yeah, that's why I was like, I know this guy, and then I thought it was Bat Boy, but yeah, it could be Chaka.
Man, every one of those teeth are in business for themselves.
Mm.
So now they're like, they really want Rand out of the picture. Like it's time for her to die type of thing. And then we find out that McCoy has found a vaccine, but without their communicators, they can't call the ship to have the ship test it. And immediately I said, well, you're all going to die anyway. You don't want to go. You're not going back to the ship. Grab one of the red shirts and pump them full of this stuff.
Are they? There's absolutely no signs they've been affected. In fact, we haven't seen them for about 15, 20 minutes by this point in the episode.
Yeah, maybe they were. I don't know. Do we see them at the end of the episode beam up, or
One of the guys actually does get a line. He does come back.
and then we have some really great lighting. They always like light Kirk's eyes to give him that evil look.
Very old school Hollywood, the way that they lit a lot of these early episodes.
And they did that with Indiana Jones too, with Harrison. Because every time they did it with Harrison, it would always remind me of early Star Trek.
And then we have
Oh no, baby, you're very shagadelic.
It's an odd way to say you have the disease by saying it's in you.
I put the gun in swinger, baby.
Dying to break those out, huh?
yeah, I love them. It's like he grabs her and then he says,
Yeah, baby.
Okay, someday John and I are going to do a podcast about the night we saw Austin Powers.
You know what? I'm waiting on that. I'm waiting on that one because that one was awesome.
That was one of the funniest nights of my life.
So,
yep,
we're to the point now where Miri is. I guess she's reserved to the fact that they want to help. They really want to help. Is that why she takes him there, or does Kirk threaten her?
Well, I think it's because now
she's finally got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Now that you mention, was this the Q character from Tango and Cash?
Yeah, the guy who built the stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You see it
All
now?
right. I do. Yeah. Now in this shot, now I see it. Yeah. Okay. So now I can sleep tonight because it was bugging me.
Yeah.
It's like, who is this guy? Did I see him in this?
Incorrect.
Oh no! Did I see him in this?
Incorrect.
But now I can go to sleep, and I know where. Now I have to watch Tango and Cash. So
now
everybody's gonna
look at this shot filmed through cobwebs. What an interesting choice.
And the language that they use. I'm surprised they got away with this on TV.
And then I sat through 2 hours of it last night, so
that was no blah blah blah.
Okay.
And
I just have to say, how would you like to be Kirk hanging around the captain's table one day going, the Jim Kirk who got beat up by a bunch of kids, right? Right? You got beat up by a bunch of 6-year-olds, right? Very odd scene.
It's good though.
It's good. It's creepy as hell. Homicidal kids are always kind of a factor.
Yeah, and then you have
mask is weird.
That kid that had that like Hannibal Lecter.
Yep. And what's with the dude on the left with the pink Sherlock Holmes hat?
Yeah, I was going to say we got.
What the hell kind of mysteries is he solving?
Right, and then on the right you have a guy in who plays for Herbie the Love Bug's football team.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, what is this, like dragged under a truck? Groucho, is that who that is? And where did we get the giant?
I thought it was a Frida Kahlo mask, but okay.
Where do we get the giant ratchet from, or the wrench? And how does? And then we're
A
attacking
bowling pin?
bowling pins, and then this girl with the blondish green and blonde and green hair she just stands there and smiles. She doesn't do anything else.
Creepy.
Very Children of the Corn type vibe. Just watching it and enjoying it.
Is this why you don't like children?
I don't know. They
She had a
tend to
blonde and green haired bully when she was younger.
exactly.
And then Kirk grabs the Bat Boy and just whips him from the top of the desk and just slams him to the ground.
It
And
was
then,
great.
and then on the right there, we have little Indiana Jones. And then we have two GI Joes. We have a GI Joe at the bottom, and we have Patton at the.
I'm going to say that.
Patton at on the left. So this is like the whole cast. So Kirk gives a typical end of the episode speech as to why things should go his way, and we see that the hypo spray is that a hypo spray at the time was it called?
Right? I don't think they named it yet, but yep, hypo spray.
And it has the fruit juice in it, and Kirk. I guess Spock delivers the Grand Moff Tarkin line, and he goes off to, I guess, look for the security guards.
Where the hell are frickin' Frack? I haven't seen them.
Now, does he say why he's going to look for them? Or does he mention that, hey, they might have their communicators? Or does he just wants to get everybody?
It's like, I need a break. I'm going to go check on their progress.
So Dr. McCoy has a toothache because that's where the splotch is growing. And he gives himself the injection, and it looks like it hurts.
Notice he doesn't rip his uniform like he did when he had to give Kirk the injection in the naked time. Actually, this remastered effect I thought was pretty good.
And I was gonna say, what do these splotches look like in the original version?
If memory serves, it was a very similar scene, but it had kind of that Wolfman quality where you see the head move a little bit as they took the appliances off and with the fade. But this looks like they just put the video on still and then digitally faded them out.
But there are slight moves to Spock's hands.
Yeah, but it's much better. It's far less jarring.
Well,
than it was.
it looks like he's actually holding his head, and it's not like that. Yeah, not like that movement where one thumb fades from over here and then reappears over here. But he's actually like moving his.
Yeah, but you could see he holds them in a position, and you start to see it fade, and then he moves it a little bit, and then you start to see it fade. Yeah, it was a much improved effect.
We get the under the table shot, and it disappears completely. And I guess
There's our security guard. He's way in the back. Good job. He's behind the kid with the glasses.
I think I know that kid. So then we go back up to the ship, and they say, what are they leaving behind? Food, and they're gonna deliver teachers.
So
My question is, why didn't they just take them with them? And take
Thank
'em
you,
to the
Deb.
nearest star base
what are they going to repopulate this planet with 7 kids
and no food.
and no food? Like, why don't we take them, get them? It's a dead planet, and apparently, unless there's more out there, again, sensors are non-existent here. It seems like, you know what? There'll be now we're pretty far out. I've contacted Space Central. They'll send teachers and advisor in a few weeks.
What
So
the
you're
hell is Space Central?
Okay, that was before we actually had the formal
Starfleet Command.
terminology for Starfleet Command. Yeah.
I heard that. I was like, what?
Well, you have Space Eastern, Space Mountain, Space. You do have Space Mountain, Space Central, and Space Pacific. So, yeah, that would, like, I think in previous episodes he called it USPA, United Earth
Right.
Space Probe
Yep.
Agency. Now we
Right.
have Space Central. Yeah.
So are they taking volunteers to stay behind until somebody else arrives while they go trotting off, or?
No, I think they just left them with supplies and hightailed it out of there.
Damn, that's cold.
Yeah.
Well, they're sending teachers, and if you teach a child to fish, and then we have another great one-liner from Kirk. Yeoman Rand says, she really loved you, and he's, never get involved with older women, Yeoman.
Just much, much, much younger.
On the outside.
I mean, I was like, how about you show me those legs now? And off they go, leaving those poor children to die. Yeah.
Has this was I enjoyed this episode. It's not on the, like, I think I gave, what was it, last week?
Yeah, last 2 weeks you liked a lot.
Yeah, that was that Mud?
What little girls are made of.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Rock.
Right. And then I would say this is probably a 6. I mean, it's better than average that I can remember. I thought the story was great. It has its flaws here and there, but it was actually a pretty decent episode. And I'm looking forward to the next one, because the next one has the Romulans in it, correct?
I hate to disappoint you, but
He's not Romulan?
no. But Dagger of the Mind does feature Inspector Luger from Barney Miller. So you got that.
We got another Barney. Oh, no, that was Barney Miller. I was thinking. Okay.
James Gregory makes an appearance in this episode. And I won't give too much away. I think it's an interesting episode. It's got a real big famous first in it coming up for Star Trek. so far. Good plot, very enjoyable.
Deb,
So
we know you don't like children, but what do you give the Miri?
A 5 or a 4.
Ooh, that bad, huh?
0.5. 4.5.
Okay, that's much better.
yeah, I would go with 6.
Well, it was better than the Charlie X episode that I think I
Oh,
gave
yeah.
it a -1 or something.
I, I, I as a kid, this was not one that I would seek out and rewatch, but it held my attention a lot more than I thought it would on this rewatch. I think there's a lot in this episode going on, like I previously mentioned. Was there any reason it had to be a duplicate Earth? No. I think that plot point just gets completely lost after the first commercial break.
Was that in the original screenplay, you think? Or is that something that they added in there to kind of make you want to relate to the kids?
I would say that it was probably, and I could be misspeaking on this, but if I remember correctly, it was probably not a first draft part of it. What I think is for budgetary reasons, was far easier to say it's an exact duplicate of Earth, so they could reuse the Mayberry sets and use standing stuff without having to build an alien culture from the ground up, which they would do again and again and again. Not with exact continents, but yeah,
Right.
there are a lot of similar Earths there. I mean, we'll visit ancient Rome planet, and we'll visit Nazi Germany planet, and in Star Trek language, there's the Hodgkin's law of parallel planet development, which I was like, wow, that's a great way to explain why all these things are similar. Interestingly enough, this episode does, in the expanded universe, have some follow-ups. There's a book, a novel called Song of the Onlys. I don't think that's one I read. If I did, I don't remember it. And either in the comics or in the books, they explain that this duplicate Earth was a result of a subspace anomaly that was traveling through our solar system, hit the Earth, and then for some reason deposited the exact copy way out in space. Actually, I think it copied the entire solar system, if I'm not mistaken.
How do you spell only? Is it Onlies?
Yes. I think it's Song of the Onlys.
Cry of the Onlys?
Cry of the Onlys. There you go. I was thinking Song of the South.
Let's see. Summary. Captain Kirk must confront the ghosts of his past to prevent a catastrophic war. Doesn't sound like it could be a sequel.
Let's take a look. Hold on. Pretty sure it is, though. Why would the Onlys come back again? Judy Class. Let me take a look. Hold on.
Let's see. Bracco 6, a once tranquil Federation colony, is now caught up in the throes of revolution. The Enterprise's mission to reestablish contact with the planet and determine whether or not formal ties between the Federation and
Boaco 6.
Baracco 6 should be strengthened.
So maybe that planet was Baracco 6, and that's why we're visiting it back.
And then It says in reference is Barack 05.
And Barack Obama. Sorry.
All right. Well, on that note,
Incorrect.
what is our next episode, Martin? Apparently, I don't know what it is.
Dagger of the Mind.
Okay, so I was thinking, I guess, Balance of Terror.
That one is episode 14. So, what are we on? 9 next week? 9. So we have a couple more weeks to go before Balance of Terror.
Okay. Well, next week we are on hiatus. I've just gotten word from the producer. We're spending the weekend at a cabin in Waco. So
Nice.
we will see you back here in 2 weeks. She wants to go see the new 1923 hotel, I think it is. Joanna and Chip Gaines.
Oh, yes.
She wants to go see her hotel, and then there's a couple of, I mentioned this before, a pizza place that is really good down in Waco.
New York, good?
It's very, very good.
Okay.
It's pretty darn close.
Okay.
And
And
then I won't be back. I won't be here for the show on the 22nd because I'll be at Indiana Comic Con.
Oh, how fun.
maybe. All right, cool. So take photos and anything. Anybody?
I'm seeing Hayden. I have a photo op and a autograph session, and we are also going to the special panel with him and Rosario, who plays Ahsoka,
Awesome.
live action Ahsoka.
Any Star Trek stuff?
George Takei will be there.
All right, hold on. We got to give you your news. This is news. Convention news.
Good evening. Here's the news flash.
That will not be happening to me.
All right, so what's the
Mortal
news?
Benny Hill.
What's the news?
George will be there. Sulu. I'm trying to think if there were some other Star Trek people there. Oh, let me see.
Yeah, George is going to be at the Oklahoma City Galaxy Con in Oklahoma City with Todd Stashwick.
Oh, let's see.
If you have it, you can share your screen and bring it up.
I don't see any other Star Trek people on here. How the heck do I share my screen?
Should be a thing down at the bottom.
Share.
That would be the one.
It's right next to the Sunny button.
You're so funny. There you go. Did that work?
Yeah. Let's see if I can find it here. There you are.
Oh, Charlie Cox is going to be there?
I am really hoping for a panel because there's other Marvel people there.
John Rhys Davies, John?
Yeah, he was here. He was at, I think he was at Dallas Fan, or maybe he canceled. I was excited to see him at the Fan Expo or the Fan Festival, but he actually canceled.
Okay, so I see Sarandon, right? Chris Sarandon down at the bottom there. He was on DS9. And to the right, the actress from The Boys. My son ran into her in New York City recently.
Scroll down a little, Deb.
Oh, I was like, why aren't you scrolling down?
It's your computer.
I'm
Well, I do not know. I'm not techie.
Only you and the federal government can control your computer. So,
All right. And Chris Sarandon from one of my favorite 80s movies of all time, Fright Night. So George is going to be there. Robert Patrick, Lou Ferrigno,
Randy Quaid,
Edward James Olmos. It's a pretty good lineup.
Here's my boy.
Arthur Darvill from Doctor Who. Mary McDonnell from Battlestar Galactica. Okay. John Cleese. That's a good one. Oh, wait. Will Wheaton's there.
Oh, yeah. Will Wheaton. Yep.
Anthony Daniels.
Anthony Daniels was at Retro Expo 2 years ago. Didn't get a chance to talk to him. He goes in his own little room, and you have to show a ticket to get in, which I guess I can understand.
Well, we had to buy tickets for Hayden and Rosario's panel.
For the panel?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay, Bruce Greenwood's going to be there.
Captain Pike.
Lee Majors and Lindsay Wagner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they were at Retro Expo together also a few years back. He has, I think Lee Majors has the greatest voice in television. Even to this day, he just sounds, it's just so smooth. Yeah. Wow, this is a busy day. And now, what are these voice actors?
It looks like a lot of them are voice actors.
Yeah.
So we have there's
Timothy's on.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to see him. I'm hoping to get something signed.
It just keeps going on and on and on.
Geez, who's not going to this convention? It'd be a shorter list.
Yeah. Me, I'm not going.
Yeah, you're not going.
Yeah, I assume, these are panelist people, I guess. Some of them are. Because I was like, I have no idea who these people are.
Red Power Ranger.
Okay, let's see.
No, she's an author. But I don't know.
A lot of Power Rangers.
Yeah, Power Rangers are big at conventions because when I was up at the what was the last one that I just went to, the one in Choctaw, the Power Ranger there was only supposed to be there on Saturday because it was a Saturday-Sunday convention, and he said he had so much fun that he offered to come back, and the lines were longer for him than for anybody else.
Amazing.
And
it's a generational thing, I guess.
And the last Retro Expo that I went to, the lines were insane for the Ninja Turtles. We had the 4 Ninja Turtles from the movie, the first movie, and the lines were insane for them. So here's who's going to be at the Oklahoma City Galaxy Con the end of May. So it's some of them are pretty much the same. We have Charlie Cox. Was Wilson Bethel going to be there? Was he from
Daredevil?
yeah, Daredevil.
I don't recognize them offhand, but it's been a while. I mean, he definitely was not in season 1 because we just finished that. But yeah, I don't know.
Kurt Fuller. Everybody,
Kurt Fuller, everybody's favorite '80s bad guy.
you know, when I was at the Smithtown Theater, there was, what movie did we have? I think he was in the movie that we had, and everybody was like, "This is you." I was like, "Okay, I appreciate that." I think
Nice.
Richard Dreyfuss is coming to Oklahoma. And then we have Steve Burns, who is Blue's Clues. Steve, he looks like he's evil in this picture.
Yeah, there's something going on there. I don't know what, but it's something.
A reboot of Austin Powers or something. He wants to play Dr. Evil. And then we have 3 trucks. Terry Farrell, who I'm excited to see. Nicole DeBoer.
Is she still with Nimoy's son, or are they Splitsville?
I don't know. It's beyond my knowledge and capacity to care.
Mm-hmm. Don't sugarcoat it. How do you really feel?
And then we have just put up on the website, I guess today, Todd Stashwick, Ross Marquand,
Okay.
and we have the kid from Shazam. Right? Is that the kid? Yeah, that's the kid from Shazam, right? Jack Dylan Grazer.
Yes, I believe so.
And then another Red Ranger, Austin St. John. I think he's the one that was just up at the other Comic-Con. Barry Bostwick. Remember his movie?
Bostwick. Oh,
Remember his big movie?
Megaforce?
Megaforce?
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
The
dun,
future is
dun.
now. Yeah, I recently tried to watch Megaforce, and I couldn't even Megaforce myself to do it. I got through like the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, but when it came out,
Oh my God.
I had those cars. I wish I still had them, but I had the Megaforce vehicles, and those motorcycles were awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who else was in that?
Edward Mulhare.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about the was it the chick that was in it? Wasn't she in
Versus Kambata.
Yeah, wasn't she's Ilea, right?
Yes. Yes.
So
I think she did those 2 movies, and that was the end of it for her Hollywood career. But yeah.
and we have cosplayers. Inglorious Trexperts are going to be there. I guess they're going to have a panel. They have a really cool channel. And that's that. So, and a bunch of pro wrestlers. And I can come back with a tattoo.
There you go.
It's not going to happen. But I could get a tattoo of myself all over my body.
So the Trek Long Island, which is coming up May 31st through June 4th, we have Melissa Navia from.
Share your screen.
Yeah, I should share my screen. Sorry. Hold on. I'm trying to access this without all my Facebook information being up. Hold on. I can share.
What is it? Trek Long
I got it.
Long
I got it.
Island?
No, not share my screen. Got to go down by the sunny button. Share. There we are. Okay. Understood. Let's proceed. So, Microsoft. Yep. Nah, where the hell is it? Wait, just lost it. Hold on a second. Had it and lost it.
All right, I think I got it.
You got it? Oh, I got it up. I got it up. I instantly regretted it. As soon as it came out of my mouth. Instantly regretted it. So let's see who we have here. All right, so we got Melissa Navia, right? Armin Shimmerman. That's definitely one that I would go to. Ethan Phillips. Chase Masterson. We got Admiral Chayev is going to be there. Clyde Kusatsu, who has been popping up all over the Star Wars universe. Chancellor Martok himself, J.G. Hertzler. So this is shaping up to be a pretty good one, too.
So who do we got there?
So we have Melissa Navia from Strange New Worlds. Armin Shimmerman from DS9, Ethan Phillips from Voyager, Chase Masterson from DS9, Natalia Nagulich from Next Gen, Admiral Nechayev, and then Kitty Swink, that's actually Armin Shimmerman's wife, and J.G. Hertzler. Martok.
That's a pretty good lineup too. And when is that? That's the
May 31st through June 2nd.
So that is the week after the Texoma, Oklahoma City.
Is that Memorial Day weekend?
Probably. I don't know. When is...
It's usually the 25th is usually Memorial Day. Or around that time period.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We got a whole bunch of conventions coming up, and hopefully you guys remember to take pictures.
I'll take my crew with me. So
yeah. Are you dressing up?
Wraparound command tunic that came the other day. That just needs to be shrunk a little bit. It's a pain in the ass to put on, or I would put it on right now. So to give you the full idea, the wraparound.
Oh, nice.
Casual green tunic. So yes, I am going to be dressed up. I'm going old school.
That's pretty neat. That's the I want a gold.
Wish.
I want to go to there's the Sherwood Forest Fair down here in Dallas, and I need to get an old school Trek uniform and walk around the Sherwood Forest Fest with my tricorder.
Thought maybe you were going to get tights and go as men in tights or something.
No, go. Going as Star Trek, beaming down to a strange planet that resembles Earth.
You know,
But there it
the
is.
Renaissance Fair people hate that.
Do they?
Yes, they absolutely hate that.
Well, it's all fake weapons, though, right?
Mm.
Where's our sense of humor?
Well, I don't think anyone in this podcast has lost theirs. Thank God.
So, all right, Deb, what do you got coming up on your situation? On the plethora,
Yes.
you have
Monday
more
night.
shows than a Chinese menu.
I'm a hermit. I have nothing else to do. So, yeah, Monday night, I'll be on MCU Monday. We are starting season 2 of Daredevil. Tuesday night is the Sith Dominion. We are on the last tenet of the Sith Code. Thursday night, Cantina Happy Hour. It'll be the Bad Batch, which this week is a 2-episoder, episode 6 and 7. And I'm thinking gonna be good. I'm thinking this is where the bounty hunters come in and we see Asajj, Ventress, and Fennec and Cad Bane. At least that's my prediction. I'm probably wrong, but you know. And then oh no, we're not back here Friday, are we?
No,
Next week.
not this
Okay.
week. And then the next week you'll
So-
be with your husband, Hayden.
That's right.
Okay. And we're gonna
And
need
he's only-
photos.
He's like 40 something, right? That could work.
That's pretty close. I mean, look at Kirk and Miri. I mean, he's what? How old is he in this episode?
Don't remember. Padme was
40s?
older than him, so you know.
40s, and
Yeah, he could be
You
my
know?
kid. So see, my oldest one is 35, 36. So he could be one of my kids. Hayden.
well, if we see pictures of you cradling him in your arms, then we know you're not going to be here the following week because the bail will probably be set pretty high.
This is true.
So,
I'm just excited to meet him. I adore him.
well, tell him we said hi
I will.
on Federation Friday.
If I don't
With 2 eyes.
faint or puke.
2 eyes. Yeah, we spell we spell it with 2 eyes. So,
It sets us apart from all the other rewatch podcasts out there.
all right, Marty, what do you got coming up? Anything? Just life in general?
Life in general, and I'm actually going to try and get caught up on some movies. Last year, I did the challenge to see how many movies I could watch that I've never seen before, and topped out at 100 in 2023. So I'm going to try and break that record, but I am woefully off pace. So I'm going to try
These
and get
old
caught up on
movies
those.
or just any movies?
Any movie. If
Oh.
I haven't seen it before, summer classics. I've been watching. I've even gone to the well and did a couple of silent movies, to movies that came out within the last 6 months. It all started when I was talking with somebody in 2022 who said, "Man, you've seen every movie ever made." And I said, "No, you'd be surprised. There's a lot that I haven't seen." And like, no way. I'm like, so he started naming some movies, and I saw about 80% of them. And then someone overheard it and said, "Oh my God, I can't believe you never saw blah, 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 or you never saw this." So I started writing them down and I started watching them. Yeah. And I was surprised. There's some movies I'm like, I swear I've seen this, and I've watched it and go, oh, actually, no, I know the entire plot of this movie through, I guess, popular culture or whatnot, but I actually never sat down and watched the movie.
Hmm.
So last one I checked out was The Last Voyage of the Demeter, the Dracula flick from last year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
Not
thought I.
Not a bad way to spend an hour and a half. Pretty fun. It kind of billed itself as aliens on a boat, or alien on a boat. I can see where they were going with it. Check it out if you get some free
Is
time.
it like a prequel to I guess, or is it would it be more of a sequel to Dracula Untold?
So it's there's a small chapter in the actual novel Dracula. It's about 5 pages long, explaining what happened on this boat, and it's done via the captain's logs. So they've expanded that, and it covers from the point of the boat leaving Transylvania to washing up on the shores of England.
Now, this
And
is part of the dark universe?
I don't think so. This was
Oh,
kind
no?
of, I think, a standalone thing. I could see they were definitely setting up for a sequel, but I thought it was an interesting take, and it was a fun watch.
So, I mean, if there's a movie that you want to, you want to watch, send it to me too. I'll see if we can watch it, and then
Okay.
if you want to pick a night out of the week where you're not busy and you want to go on and say, this is one I'd like to talk about, just hit me up and
Absolutely.
we'll turn that into something, and we'll see what we can do. Other than that, that'll put a wrap on this week's episode of Federation
Ration.
I was trying to pronounce it. Federation Friday. And we will see you in 2 weeks. Deb, we'll see you in 3 weeks.
Mhm.
I hope to have pictures.
Yes, pictures.
And I need proof that you don't have fingerprint smudges. And thanks for watching out there, everybody. We appreciate it. And we'll see you next time on Federation Friday. Remember, hashtag TGIFF.
Two F's on that one.
Two F's.
I's.
Yeah. So we'll see you later. Have a good night, everybody.